Throughout history, people have tried to bridge the gap between life and death, driven by a deep desire for connection and comfort. From ancient rituals to 19th century spiritualist gatherings, and now with the most advanced scientific research, the quest to talk with those who have passed on continues, suggesting a universe much richer and more connected than our senses show us. Historical accounts about communicating with spirits, the Fox sisters, and the birth of spiritualism. In 1848, two teenagers, Leah and Margaret Fox, started making knocking sounds in their home in Hydesville, New York. These mysterious knocks were thought to be messages from spirits, which started a huge movement called spiritualism. These events led to many experiments and reports of physical things happening, like tables floating and spirit knocks, some of which were later found to be tricks, even though many people who saw them believed they were real. This time period set the stage for ongoing scientific investigation into spiritual events. Eva Kare and spirit photography. In the early 20th century, the medium Eva Kare claimed to capture photographs of spirits that appeared during seances. Even though many images were faked, some showed wispy shapes that were hard to explain. Spirit photography is still a hot topic, but it really shows how much people have always wanted to see things that are usually invisible. The Skoll experiment between 1993 and 1998 was a well-documented and careful attempt to scientifically test spiritual things. In a controlled setting in England, the Skoll group said they saw objects floating, lights moving around, and EVP, audio recordings with voices from spirits. It's interesting that some voices answered in a way that made sense and fit the conversation. Skeptics say this could be from the subconscious mind, but supporters suggest these things go beyond normal explanations, according to Kelvin and Morris in 2001. Spirit communication methods and scientific views. Seances and knocking sounds were common. Old-fashioned seances had mediums go into a trance, supposedly talking to spirits through automatic writing or by making things move. Science studies, like those by Friedrich and Williams in 1884, showed that many strange happenings came from something called the ideomotor effect. This means our muscles move without us even knowing it. It really showed how much our minds play a part. But some experienced researchers said they saw things that were hard to explain, especially when people really believed and felt strong emotions. Ouija boards. Developed in the late 19th century, the movements of the Ouija board are now generally attributed to the ideomotor effect, according to Sharps in 1993, where subconscious muscle activity guides the planchette. However, many users report receiving messages with personal details or accurate future predictions, which fuels the debate about whether some form of conscious or unconscious influence operates beyond our current understanding. Automatic writing and trance mediumship. In trance states, mediums like Eusapia Palladino and D.D. Home claim to deliver messages from spirits through automatic writing or by speaking. Psychologists have shown interest in these events, trying to figure out if there's really a link between being in a trance and talking to spirits. The rise of scientific and tech approaches led to the appearance of electronic voice phenomena, or EVP. Researchers like Konstantin Raudiv, way back in 1971, collected recordings with voices that answered questions. While skeptics say this is just pareidolia or radio interference, some recordings have speech that's somewhat clear or makes sense in context, which makes people want to look into electromagnetic influences even more. Quantum and neuroscientific perspectives. Non-local consciousness, according to research by Dean Radin in 2004 and 2013, reported statistically significant evidence of mind-matter interactions, such as psychokinesis and remote viewing, suggesting, well, that consciousness could operate in a non-local way. On the other hand, the quantum theory of the brain, proposed by Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff in 1994, suggests that microtubules within neurons facilitate quantum processes, making consciousness a quantum phenomenon capable of existing beyond classical spacetime. This idea actually aligns with the possibility of communication in higher dimensions. The holographic universe model. The physicist David Bohm, along with Hiley in 1993, suggested a holographic universe where reality is like a projection of information stored in a deeper, multidimensional layer. The connections between consciousness and this information field could explain these events, and suggest that what we see as spiritual contact might actually be interacting with a deeper part of reality. So a holographic, interconnected universe appears, where information, consciousness, and energy are all fundamentally connected. Inner encounters and the science of consciousness. Many people talk about vivid encounters with loved ones during dreams, meditation, or near-death experiences. Research into near-death phenomena like Moody's in 1975 has documented reports of deceased relatives appearing in visions, often offering comfort or guidance. These experiences challenge a purely physical view and suggest ultimately that consciousness might extend beyond the physical body. Neuroscientific explanations say these experiences are due to changes in the brain, like lack of oxygen, activity in the temporal lobe, or changes in brain chemicals. But some people say that these explanations aren't enough to fully understand how clear and deeply emotional these meetings feel. Recent studies by Dean Radin and other researchers have looked into nonlocal consciousness, which is the idea that the mind and consciousness aren't just limited to what the brain does. These studies actually give experimental support to the idea that consciousness might work like a field, able to affect and get information across space, time, and maybe even in different dimensions. Love as a universal signal. Across cultures and throughout history, love and longing appear as universal connectors, feelings that seem to join the physical and spiritual worlds. When people desperately want to reconnect with their loved ones, their true intentions can act like signals that echo through many layers. Whether through rituals, meditation, or just pure intention, focus and emotion could be like energy keys, tuning us into these other levels. For example, a mother who is grieving often feels the presence of her child during moments of deep love and longing. Such experiences, whether viewed from a scientific or spiritual perspective, highlight that emotional resonance might be more than just psychological. It could be an energetic frequency capable of crossing perceived boundaries. The future of communicating with spirits. Given these many-sided events, historical reports, modern experiments, and theoretical ideas, it's likely that our universe is a huge connected network of energy and information. With new technology like quantum sensors, brain-computer interfaces, and better electromagnetic detectors, we'll probably soon create tools that can make stronger or understand the faint signals that connect us to these higher or spiritual levels. The key is to grow your intentions, your love, and an open mind. Rituals, meditation, and science can work together. They can be like a set of tools to tune into these hidden channels. This lets us close the gap between physical life and the many different levels of consciousness that continue on. Final reflection. Death may not be a final end, but a transition to a realm where loved ones continue to exist, accessible through love, focus, and scientific exploration. The persistent stories across different cultures, combined with modern scientific research, suggest that the profound interconnectedness of the universe goes beyond matter, to a realm where consciousness, energy, and information are woven into the very fabric of reality. Are we ready to listen? To admit that whispers, signs, and visions might be more than just make-believe. They could be real messages from the infinite. The universe invites us to explore these unseen worlds, to realize that life and love are eternal threads that cross multiple dimensions. The potential for a true connection, beyond death, is within reach, if we dare to seek it with an open heart and a curious mind.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future ideas that challenge us to think outside the box. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, and don't forget to always maintain that curiosity that drives progress. Also, explore even more fascinating content on our channel. From life-changing tips and cutting-edge technology, to the mysteries of spirituality, travel to various countries, delicious recipes, health hacks, and language learning, there's something here to spark your curiosity and elevate your life. Dive in and discover a world of knowledge awaits us.